a new awareness among black people.
This institution is like many other institutions, which means it's a racist institution.
The most unprotected person in America is the black woman.
For a black person to get an education in this country, he's got to have a lot of guts.
Black.
Hello and welcome to Unspoken. I'm your host Cece and you are about to enter the hashtag Black Safe Space. This is a place where we come together and we have open, candid discussions about things pertaining to the black community. So make sure you're following us on Instagram at WeAreUnspoken and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today's guest, I'm joined with Charles Brown, who is a psychotherapist, and he is doing some fantastic work in our community, and he's here to share some really insightful information. Charles, thank you so much for joining me here at Unspoken. Please tell me a little bit about some of the work that you've been doing.
I work as a psychoanalytic psychotherapist. Also, I have my own private practice, and part of my private practice is to provide a space for ethnic minority people who are on low income to access therapy for a time-limited therapy for a period of about two years, once weekly.
When you're talking about psychotherapy, what exactly is it that you're looking to work with?
We work with the mind and specifically the unconscious. Psychoanalytic psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, believes in the existence of the unconscious, that we're influenced by the unconscious, a force that is outside of our awareness. We find ourselves doing things that consciously we don't want to do.
And in what way would you say that race impacts psychotherapy? How have you found, when you're dealing with your clients, a lot of the theories that we know are inherently very Eurocentric and very Western? So how do you combat that when you are dealing with your clients?
When I trained, there was no provision for culture or difference. The paradigm was, this is how people are, and this is what we do with the people that present to us. Of course, this is a westernized model. But people who have come here from abroad and have lived there often find it difficult to integrate, and they hold on to their cultural customs and beliefs and ideas. When they come to meet with psychotherapy or mental health services, a lot of white professionals don't know how to deal with them.
In what sense? What are the challenges?
For instance, a lot of white psychotherapists will quite quickly assume that a Caribbean person perhaps, or somebody from Africa, is hearing voices when they speak. It's not that they're saying they're, hearing voices per se, as would be understood by the Western society.
Right, so some cultural nuances there.
The way that perhaps Caribbean people gesticulate and speak quite loudly and fast might be seen as in quite a different way for a white mental health professional who might be used to people who are middle class talking very quietly and very subdued and with a lack of emotionality. They might say that, a person who gesticulates and raises their voices and laughs loud might be have a mental health problem. Perhaps
the method of training is a little bit old-fashioned, and that maybe things just really need upgrading.
So psychoanalysis and psychotherapy has traditionally been seen as middle class and white.
Okay.
And when I trained as a psychotherapist, I was the only black person in my year training, and prior to that I trained as a counsellor, and I was the only black person there.
There's just not enough access to this training.
That's part of the reason.
Okay.
It's awfully expensive to train, and for a black person who wants to train, especially in psychoanalysis or psychotherapy, when you're faced with a sea of white and there's no room for you, it's kind of off-putting.
Ultimately, that is our lives. As black people, we are often in situations where we are the only one out of 100, one out of 200, and
being a minority in a white dominant society is really difficult. Training, it wasn't just having to deal with overt racism. Actually, it was a lot of microaggressions, things that were innocuous or subtle, and but some of it wasn't. And because the organisations themselves are inherently racist, because this is a racist society, and because the trainers, lecturers, and so forth aren't overtly racist, often my peers who I'm learning with are. I remember a really pertinent instance of training as a psychotherapist when one of my peers, maybe the second year of a 5-year training, said to me, "I don't want to be training with a black person." And this was kind of said to my face. It wasn't like said to on one side or anything. It was said to my face. And the threat actually was if either he goes or I go.
wow.
I'm kind of stubborn. So I
So
wasn't
you
going
didn't
anywhere. I'm
leave.
not going anywhere. Just make me more determined.
And how did you kind of overcome that challenge? Like if somebody right now is watching and is experiencing what you said, microaggressions, which is the new racism, I believe. It's no longer, the overt kind of no blacks. It's more like, oh, you're not welcome here, but we won't tell you. We'll just make you feel it. So what advice would you give to somebody experiencing that type of insidious racism?
The advice I would give is to focus on your goal, and not, because it's not abnormal.
Right. But should we live like that, with that belief that we should just expect this?
Oh, I think it's to be expected. I think it doesn't mean that it isn't to be challenged.
Right. So there is a bit of, I guess, stigma that if you are doing psychotherapy, you're crazy.
The idea that psychotherapy is for people who are crazy or severely disturbed is wrong. Sigmund Freud, who founded Psychoanalysis, often people think that he pulled that out of thin air, when it wasn't. It had been around for a long time. He pieced a lot of it together. If we look at ancient African civilizations, the idea of the village elder or the witch doctor or the shaman that people go to and talk to and work all kinds of stuff with, that's the bedrock of it, really. But it's been reshaped, redefined into a Western paradigm.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in finding out a bit more about Charles and where you can find him, just check out the links below. And make sure you subscribe, share. We definitely need more black people getting involved in psychotherapy. So let us know your thoughts and we'll see you soon.